Here we go, race fans. Johnny Benson and Marcus Malkett to the green. Let's hope for a good start. Let's hope to get that first lap in and let them race down the stretch for a victory and the $6,000 cash prize. Green flag, good start off of 4. Benson and Malkett bring them in. Into the first turn we go. Benson takes the advantage. Rosenberry goes around in the 2. Alex Rosenberry in the number 2 car goes around, and we have a caution out for the first time as a 15-year-old late model rookie, Alex Rosenberry, gets turned. Yellow out. Green in the hand of Chuck Barrett. Johnny Benson, Marcus Malkett into 3. Malkett picks up the pace again, going into 3 and 4. They're back to side by side in 4. The green flag is out, and we're underway at Sandusky. Into turns 1 and 2 we race. Side-by-side action off of the second corner. Donnie Hill gets checked up a little bit in the 0 car, continues on, but here come the 16 cars to the bottom. It's J.R. Rohrig for the number 4 position. Off the pace, the 16, top qualifier, Jeff Gannis. Gannis, the track record in top qualifier. The 16 is off the pace. And we will have a caution. Yellow is out for Jeff Gannis. Talked to him before the race. It was all about riding until the lap 50 mark, and then he thought he could turn up the wick, and Jeff Gannis. Marcus Malkett, Harold Fair Jr., J.R. Rohrig to the green, turns 3 and 4. Back underway at Sandusky for main event 25. Flies off of the banking and badly damages the front end of his race car in turn number 3. Charlie Schultz, the Ice Oil Company, Northeast Lubricants, Bell Helmets, Howe Enterprises, and Landrum Springs, number 9. Hard hit into the tire barrier in turns 3 and 4. Coming to green off of turn number 4. Malkett to try it again. Here's Fair right on his rear bumper as we get underway. Clean and green down the front stretch into the corner. Single file formation, except Rohrig makes a run at Fair, and Fair closes the door in turn 3. Jimmy Carter, contact with Zero Hill. Hill able to save it. What a save by Donnie Zero Hill. All kinds of contact, rooting and gouging, coming off of turn 4 that time in our top 10. So Donnie Hill, his hands full, but a great save for the driver from Columbus. Here comes Schroeder, low side of Needles. After getting some contact from Jimmy Carter, Hill's picked it up a notch, trying to challenge Benson. He pushes up the track, and here comes Jimmy Carter. Carter to the inside, but Hill closed the door. Craig Everidge into the pits, the one of Everidge pit side. Scott Baker off the pace in the number 4. Scott Baker off the pace in the 4. Caution flag is out. Yellow out for the number 4 of Scott Baker. Baker slows to bring out a caution. We saw Craig Everidge in the one recently pulled pit side. Single file for the restart, completion of lap number 19. Waiting to see a driver jump out of line. It's pretty deep in the pack. The number 2 car of Rosenberry racing with Dennis and Perry. He keeps going to the outside trying to make it work. As Fair will bring him in this time, followed by Rohrig, Malkett, Benson, and Donnie Zero Hill. 28 complete, 72 to go. Back underway at Sandusky. Saw Steve Needles, and now for the lead. Bold move by Rohrig in turn 3. J.R. Rohrig into the lead. Fair drops back to second just like that. A new leader again. This time it's Plymouth, Indiana driver J.R. Rory looking low, but Needles able to close the door. And now Needles goes to the inside again. Here's a run on Donnie Zero Hill into the corner. Hill closes the door. Up the banking they go. And Steve Needles and Donnie Zero Hill have made contact, and yellow flag is out. Needles made a move, got by Jimmy Carter quickly after the restart. He then went to the inside of Zero Hill on the front stretch. They were side by side going into the first corner. Hill trying to go to the bottom. Needles trying to make the move. The two got together, and caution flag is out. The 16 of Gannis moves up into the 8th position. He made a run, and now Donnie Zero Hill in the Zero car. Heavy smoke on the Zero of Donnie Hill. We've got a caution for Donnie Zero Hill. Heavy smoke on the Zero car. Donnie Hill in the Zero with heavy smoke. 38 complete of the scheduled 100. Here comes Gannis in the 16, a battle for the number 6 position, and Gannis gets by Roar. He'll drop back to the bottom groove, and Gannis up to 6th. Already Gannis looking to the inside of Jimmy Carter, and Carter gives him the lane. The two make a little bit of contact in the middle of 1 and 2, and Jeff Gannis picks up the 5th spot. Immediately after the green waved, Jeff Gannis into the top 5, Carter back to 6, Roar runs 7th, 8th is Schroeder. Fair not allowing the 16 of Rohrig to get away from him. Sort of surprising there after Rohrig looked so good earlier. Maybe his car not quite as strong now, and trouble in 3 and 4. The 50 of Dennis. 50 of Dennis and the number 10 car of Bud Perry. Also keeping my eyes on the 116 of Varney racing with the 4 of Schroeder, and the 14 of Needles is right there as they try to work forward yet. 47 in. Green flag coming off of turn 4, back underway in this main event 25. And here comes Benson to the inside of Malkett. Contact in front of the field. Up the banking they go, and into the side of Benson goes the number 4 of Schroeder. The 10 car of Benson, the 75 of Malkett, the two that got together. Benson was going to the inside of Malkett, trying to make a move for the third spot. 47 in, 53 to go. 16 car of Rohrig. But now Gannis has moved up into the 4 spot. We knew the Blunt cars were strong all weekend long, proving it in this race. Needles working his way forward in the 14-2, and we're back underway. .48 laps in at the line for the 16 of Rohrig. 8th is Rosebrew, 9th is Perry, 10th is Dennis, 11th is Roar after a pit stop. 12th is Kimmel in the 72, and then the 11 of Day. Halfway this time, shuffling in the top 5. Malkett up the banking. There goes Varney to the inside. Needles in the 14. Heavy contact with Malkett. He'll take his ride into the pits. Roar in the 7 car goes around, and yellow is out. Already here comes Gannis making a bold move to the second groove, and he battles with his teammate for the lead, and the lead battle is over. Gannis, the track record holder, makes it work in the second lane, and the new leader is Constantine, Michigan's Jeff Gannis. Rohrig drops back to second, 3rd is Fair, 4th is Carter, and running 5th, the 116 of Varney. What a move. He kind of tested the waters on the last green flag run. This time he made it work. Trouble on the backstretch. Trouble on the back straightaway. Contact between the 71 car of Fair and the 28 car of Carter. We saw Carter going to the outside lane. Cars picking up the pace, heading down into the 3rd corner. 69 complete, 31 to go in main event 25. Again, will fuel be an issue? Starts to come into play now that we have run so many caution flags, and green is out. Bud Perry moving over, allowing the 7 of Roar to look to the inside, down in turns 1 and 2. I think Varney's car is starting to drop off the pace a little bit in the straightaways. Maybe losing some power is Varney's 116. And speaking of losing power, the number 16 in the second spot, J.R. Rohrig on the front stretch off the pace. The 16 of Rohrig, second place car off the pace. Rohrig, and a yellow comes out. Caution out for the number 16, second place competitor J.R. Rohrig is off the pace. Here we go again, and Gannis underway. Back to green we go. As we have now completed 83 laps, and Rohr starts to challenge for a top 5 position with the number 1 of Rosebrew. Looking to the inside of Rosebrew in 3 and 4. He gives him room, and they're going to be side by side in a moment. For the 6th position, Bud Perry, the Edgerton, Ohio driver, locking up his second main event championship in a row. Racing with Rosebrew. And Jeremy Dennis off the pace, the 50 off the pace, going through 3 and 4. Dennis in the 50 has slowed. And caution out for Jeremy Dennis. He pulls to the pits. Gannis looking for his first career main event racing series victory. 2 to go. And it would come as the biggest win of his career in the main event. And he's down to the final couple of laps. Off of turn number 4, hoping the fuel doesn't sputter. Final lap for Jeff Gannis in main event 25. Less than half a lap to go. The Seneca Performance, Sweet Manufacturing, GT Products, Landrum Spring 16. Jeff Gannis brings it off sideways to the victory. Varney second, Needles third, Rohr fourth, Rosebrew fifth, sixth spot to Perry, 7th place to Dennis. And Randy Day will bring it home in 8th. Thank you, race fans. I'll get a word with our top finisher, the winner of main event 25, presented by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, Jeff Gannis.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, we got a few minutes. Thanks for coming out, making the main event 25 a success. And watch our website over the winter season, SanduskySpeedway.com.